So this is an old video that you're going to watch. I started filming in November 2023 and it took me a year to post. So these are all archived clips. Some of my thoughts might have changed, some might stay the same, but I'd like to post them because it's part of the journey and it's important to me, and they matter to me, and it shows the journey and shows different thoughts I was going through compared to now, I guess. But yeah, enjoy the video. Peace. I tell you what, today I am knackered. Sleep wise, like body wise, my body is aching all over. I'm aching in places that I've not ached in for a very long time. When I sneeze or when I cough, I'm aching. Now, a part of me loves it, but then obviously part of me says, that's pain. That's uncomfortable. Let's not do that one again. But, for me, I've always loved aching. It's always a sign, it's always a sign that I've sort of worked hard, sort of pushed my limit, and I'm getting better. So, in whatever it is, this is sort of from badminton. I was playing with my friend, and, we really did have a good, fun, intense session. It was great. But yeah, my body is definitely feeling it. See, today as well, I decided to do a back day and then do yoga as well. So, yeah, knackered body and just knackered it some more. Not too bad. It's not too bad to do that, I guess. I was really sort of up for coming to the gym straight after work rather than wasting my time driving home and then sort of coming back. By the time I get home, I got 15 minutes to chill and change, and then I'm off again. Whereas, convenience-wise and really using my time the best I can, I should just go straight to the gym. So that's what I did today. I thought I'll do a back session because I do have a bad back. I have a bad lower back, and it does sort of cause sciatica pain down my leg every now and again. But there's always sort of my lower back and hip. There's always sort of this tightness and this pressing on this nerve that I have. I've had this probably a year now. It was worse than it is now. I can sort of function in my day-to-day life, and I can still exercise. But there was actually a point where I couldn't actually move really. That's when it was at its worst. And yoga definitely helps. That's sort of why I started yoga. Definitely helps. And I do enjoy it. That's why I carry it on. But it just doesn't cut it. There's something missing. And, I've seen this guy on TikTok for a long time. Unfortunately, I can't remember his name, but he is a part of the knees over toes guy sort of group, and sort of his philosophies and ideas. So I think I'm going to start doing them and see how my back turns out and see what happens. But yeah, bit of a grueling back session today. Felt good though, but then yoga was tough. See, I have issues with cramping. I just cramp in weird places. I lock up and I'm not sure what it is. Don't know if it's my electrolytes or if it's my tightness, because I drink loads of water, but I might drink too much water. Don't want to take electrolytes, but I used to take electrolytes and it still happens. So that's another thing trying to figure out. But yeah, tough session in yoga. But it really does make me feel like I've sort of earned the rest today. I'm not going to go home now and rest and think I need to do more. There'll be a little voice of that in my head, but it takes less force and energy to tell that voice to sort of piss off, to sort of stop talking. It's like, come on, you have You know what I mean? You have pushed yourself. So it's always a good feeling when you've definitely got that. And I used to get that when I was younger a lot. I used to play a lot of football, and I used to get, when I know and I've pushed myself, it made me feel like I did deserve a rest. Probably didn't, because I didn't play that well, but physically I was, at least pushing my body. Yeah, sometimes I do fixate too much on, have I pushed myself enough? And I think my limit is when my body starts failing me. Like, that's my maximum. When I start cramping, or when my body literally just doesn't move anymore, that's sort of my maximum. That's when my mind can settle down and say, okay, you've hit your limit. Now, if you listen to David Goggins, I know I keep mentioning him almost every video, but I could probably push on after that. I could probably push on through that. I've never done it, and that's sort of the untouched territory that I probably should delve into. But yeah, I don't. There's not really an excuse of why I don't. I guess the excuse is I've got a busy life, and I do bitch out sometimes and think, oh, I do need a rest, or I do need to not push myself so hard today, because I've got other priorities as well. I also don't want to be feeling knackered 24/7. I'm not that sort of person. I do want to feel good some days. But I think it is one thing I do think about is these people. I listen to Joe Rogan, and I hear his workout, and hear what he does. His ice baths, his saunas, and his workout. And then he gets on with his day. He has his podcast. He then has probably a show that he has on and stuff like that. So he's got a busy day. And I do just wonder, is it me just making an excuse saying I can't do it? Is it three things? Is it that, or I am doing it, or he's living a life that he wants to? Like, he's got himself, and he's put himself in a position where his life is what he wants it to be like. He's got the money, he's got the access, and he's got the freedom, because he's, all because of him, because him and obviously the ones he gives credit to, but he's put himself in that position. I'm not saying that he's lucky. Well, he probably class himself as lucky, but I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. But I'm saying, I wonder if because he's in that position and he's managed to get himself there, is his energy is he not as exhausted because he's not doing unnecessary things? Not necessarily things that he doesn't want to do. I'm talking unnecessary things, like what goes on in my head is the comparison between, well, he's not on piecework, being an upholsterer, working those 8 hours and sort of pushing himself there, and then going home and, I don't know, whatever. He's sort of doing all the things that he loves. And I personally, I do think it's just an excuse in my head, that makes me think that, because he's a man with a lot of responsibility, a lot of pressure on his shoulders, and he's got a family for a start as well, and he's got people relying on him. So I think it's a give here, take there sort of deal. So I do think it's an excuse that I make, but I do wonder about this. How far can you actually push yourself every day? And what sort of measure have we got to show us that, yeah, today we did actually work hard? Like, is there a universal measure? Should you even care about comparing yourself to other people? And have you worked hard? Like, is it one of those things where I think a lot of the time with me, it's one of those things where it's like, I know if I've worked hard enough. Like, we all know if we've worked hard. We all know what we've slacked on. And I you know, I do think about that and think, is it just as long as you've done that, you know, you've pushed towards your standard where you know you're not slacking off. And then also I just think, you know, do you have to be so serious about life? Can you just like enjoy yourself as well? Can you know, just be grateful and appreciate what you've done and say, you know what, hey, you give it a good go. Sometimes that's also great if you can do that. But yeah, still a great day. I have been a little bit sad, or not sad, but a little bit down sort of today. Not really thought of why. I've sort of just accepted that, yeah, it's okay to be down today as well. Um, but it's not like I'm down and I'm like hating life. It's like, oh, can't believe I'm living today. It's like, no, you're just down today, but life's great. It's a weird one to try and explain, but yeah, home now, so peace.